All right, Manitoba, welcome back to another episode, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're having a wonderful day as always. Real fast, Manitoba, like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff that helps out the show, especially sharing. It truly does help the algorithm. Okay, Manitoba, it's been a minute since I've done one of these shows, but literally, I can't sit back and listen to these guppies that we elected here in Manitoba just say the most insane, ridiculous lies. And no one calls them out on it. I mean, there's a few people here online that do, but for the most part, our media is just crickets when they just continue to lie straight to our face. But I mean, like, for example, here's what I'm saying, Manitoba. As much as Wab Kinews wants us to think that the first thing that he did was do Orange Shirt Day for Manitoba or make Louis Riel our first Premier of Manitoba, this is what he did. He says one thing. Like, how many years has he, as opposition leader of the opposition, has he been going on and on and on about making life more affordable for Manitobans, for all of Manitobans? And the very first thing that Wab Kinews does, not Orange Shirt Day, not Louis Riel, let me just pull it up here, Manitoba. The very first thing he does is he throws a party. Yeah, of course, I know it's a swearing in ceremony, but it cost $19,000. So keep in mind, Manitoba, this is more than double of what the PC government, what the PC government's bill cost. So 4 years ago, Manitoba, it cost, or 8 years ago, it cost $8,000. Maybe I had it on the other article. But either way, like I said, so they throw a party. I mean, they're all about making life more affordable. And the first thing they do on taxpayer dollars is ring up $19,000. And on top of all this talk about inflation and gas prices and grocery costs and rent going up, do you think he's concerned about the average Manitoban? Nope. But he's going to make sure that his boys get theirs. So Tories say Manitoba NDP government paying some ministerial staff higher wages. And we're not just talking about a little bit here. These guys are making bank. And let's be clear, Manitoba, these guys, these jobs are just scratching the backs of their union buddies and their donor class. That's what this is. This is just the give backs, the paybacks. So the NDP government, which is hiring staff after last month's provincial election, well, this article is a couple months old, hiring directors of ministerial affairs at $130,000 a year. Keep in mind, again, the PCs were normally, the salaries were normally range from $70,000 to $95,000. Like, did you get a $40 to $70,000 pay bump? Did you guys get that in the last 4 years? I mean, this is fucking insane. And you know what the most mind-blowing thing is? These guys get all these high-paying jobs, and then they get all these like year-long contracts, and then the new government comes in power, and boom, they're paid out. And who has to pay the bill? The taxpayer. $1 million in severance paid to ex-Tory staff. So Manitoba has paid more than $1 million in severance to technical officers. That's what the PCs like to call them, instead of director of ministerial affairs. So they were hired by the PC governments, but found themselves out of work after the lost the election on October 3rd. So yeah, payments to 72 Tory political staffers totaled nearly $1,090,000. This is all taxpayer money. Brian Salon, $34,000. Draper Houston, $32,000. Sean Kavanaugh, $15,000. And this happens all the time. Look at this. When Brian Pallister's PC swept into office 2016, the government cost taxpayers more than $4 million in severance payments. In 1999, Gary Dewar defeated the PCs, paid out 1.2 million. Like, why? How can these fucking people get a contract that's going to extend past the people that hire them? Like, you know what I mean? Like, NDP should not be able to sign any sort of contracts that extend past 4 years. And I know I already saying it out loud, I could see where the problems arise. Like, in 3 years' time now, they're going to want to sign contracts, but maybe they should just, it should just be a year contract, and then in another year, it's up for negotiation. Because, I mean, I don't know how to do it, but every 4 years, paying millions of dollars in taxpayer money out to people because they lost their job is fucking insane, especially when all of us are struggling. So, I mean, this is what I mean. The politicians, both sides, just talk a big game, and where's the follow through? Like, since the NDP got power, 19 grand. Like, how many jobs are at $130,000 a year? $1 million paid out. And I mean, while these fucking MLA dudes are bickering back and forth, it's like the MLA NDP MLA Mark Wasaloo from Fort Garry. He says the loud part or the quiet part out loud. Here, I'm gonna pull this up. He tells the constituent. I mean, keep in mind that the base rate for our MLAs is $103,000. Like, that is the focus of today's show. It's all about the money, but it never fucking makes it down to us. It's just all talk, and then no action. So he tells constituents, Mark Wassily, that the legislator sits he's saying this because he doesn't want to quit his full-time job defending criminals. He's a defense lawyer. But he tells his constituents that the legislator sits 60 days a year, and he's present and active in his role. The article goes on to correct him, saying the number of sitting days varies from 2012 to 2022. There was an average of 79 sitting days. So for 79 days, these guppies get paid at a base rate of $103,000, and they're the ones making all these decisions, passing all these fucking laws, affecting our day-to-day lives. This is what he says, quote, "There's no meaningful role for backbench MLAs in the legislative process outside of that period. We meet with stakeholders and attend community events. Our main job is to stay connected with our communities and bring back what we hear to our caucus." So if there's no meaningful role for these backbenchers, why are they getting paid $100,000 when the going median wage in their constituency is like fucking half of that? I'm not sure exactly for Fort Garry, but there's definitely some ridings where the median wage is like 50 grand, and these dipshits who are only working 60 days a year are making $100,000. And they keep on going, we want to make life more affordable for you. But all of the first 4 articles is just costing us money, over and over again. When the fuck do we see savings? Here's another one. I know this is civic. It's the city of Winnipeg. It's not provincial. City of Winnipeg looks to change street names because we got to go woke, go broke, right? Why not? Look at what it's costing us. 2 Winnipeg roads are up for name change, but it's more than replacing street signs. Reports from the upcoming Property and Development Committee meeting show that the city has budgeted more than $105,000 for costs associated with changing Grandin Street to Tapwean Way. $105,000 for all of that, changing the street names, the business names, all the shit that went out, the businesses sent out, and more than $211,000 to turn Bishop Grandin Boulevard into Abenuji Makana. So $316,000, and that's just budgeted. It might go far past that, just to change a fucking street name. Who pays for that? The taxpayers. We do. All because they consider Bishop Vittel Justin Grandin, who's considered one of the architects of the residential school system. And we all know what the left thinks of the residential school system in Canada. They literally think that they were like loading up these indigenous people in trains and fucking offing them like the Holocaust. Like, where's all these mass graves that they literally went on fucking TV? Experts going on TV. Ground radar ground penetration, whatever the fuck the word is called. Citing that there's all these mass graves, mass fucking graves of indigenous kids. And because Bishop Vital Justin Grandin is the architect, we got to change the names. And little do you know, like, this dude, like, I don't know what kind of person he is, whether he was good or bad, but I do not think he was racist like the left wants you to believe. I don't know if you guys know this, but he actually adopted, I think it was 2 indigenous kids. Like, he wanted to do good for them. He, I believe, thought he was doing good for them. He wanted to provide free education for the indigenous. Like, he was not a bad guy. And all this shit about residential schools, the good and the bad that came from it, happened after. So I do not get the need to tear this guy down. And I mean, maybe he's a piece of shit. I don't know. But on the residential school thing, it's a joke. And when the guppies that we elect, get power, it costs us money. Every single article is just costing us money. So here's what a premier who does actually fight for the citizens. This is what it looks like. Again, don't know much about Premier Mo. I follow Manitoba. But Saskatchewan has stopped charging carbon tax on heating. Why? Because Justin Trudeau stopped charging some Atlantic provinces on the carbon tax for, what was it? Not natural gas, but something. I can't remember what it was now. I'm sure they'll say in this article. But either way, like, you guys, I'm sure most of you guys are screaming that out. You guys know what I'm talking about. So this, I mean, and I actually read this article. If you guys want to read the article, it's, the title is Saskatchewan stopped charging carbon tax on heating. What does this mean for your bills and rebates? And I read the article, and this person is like, has a very limited budget, and they're worried that, the rebate, the natural gas rebate that they get from Justin Trudeau, the climate action incentive payment, she's worried that it'll either be canceled or lowered because Premier Mo is not collecting the carbon tax on home heating. And my response is that, I'm sorry, but I don't fucking care. Just because, I know this sounds bad, but think about it, Manitoba. Just because she's on a tight or fixed budget, why should why should my taxes go to her climate action rebate? Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, just because I use things in my house and I drive a car or a truck or a van or whatever, and I heat my home and this and that, and she doesn't have a vehicle and she uses the transit bus and she has a smaller carbon footprint. Why should my taxes go to her incentive? That's what she's complaining about. She's complaining about possibly losing the fact that the government is going to take money from me and give it to her. How about this? How about you just follow Premier Scott Moe's lead, and you just stop taxing people. So that means if you use this product, you won't get taxed. Not if you use too much of this, I'm going to take some of your money and give it to me. If I don't use enough of it, just you don't get taxed. The government doesn't take your money. The government doesn't take my money. That's it. Okay? You don't need to get a check. You don't need to get a check from my tax dollars just because you didn't use any heating or fuel or this or that. You just don't have to get taxed on the stuff that you use. Okay? And then everyone wins. No one gets no one's money. That's the fairest way to do it. But that's not NDP. NDP talks about making life more affordable for you, the average Manitoban, for me, but they just help their own. It's like they just want to scratch it. It's just a small. It's like they claim that PCs and the Tories have like a boys' club, but the NDP is just a union. That's all they are. And if you're not in it, you're fucked. Manitoba has a strong case to review carbon price in province, says Canoe. That's his big plan. while Premier Mo is just going to stop collecting it and giving the middle finger to Trudeau, like a premier should. A premier is supposed to look out for his constituents. Wab Kinews in Manitoba thinks he has a strong case. But I'm sorry, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau repeatedly said that there, and this guy's a dictator, keep in mind, repeatedly said that there will be no more carve-outs of the federal carbon price after putting a 3-year freeze on the levy for home heating oil. That's what it was, home heating oil. But Manitoba, a have-not province, who's still getting payments like from the federal government, like because, like I said, we're a have-not province, thinks that we have a strong case that the government's going to be nice to us. Like, Wab Kinews has no spine. He has no backbone. He's not a fucking leader. Just like he said, I wish I had the quote on me. He said, whoa, it's different once you get in government. It's not like being in opposition. Like, this guy is not a leader. He just wants to tell you what you want to hear. So while he's giving, he paused the provincial fuel tax for 14 cents for 6 months. That is just him buying the votes. That's all it was. It was a buy your vote gimmick from the beginning, and he didn't want to say it was only going to last for 6 months. He waited till he got elected to fill us in on that one. So, and again, here this is. I mean, I'm sure like most of you guys are pulling your hair out. This is what we're going to hold the NDP accountable to, right? This is the year that, this is what Wab Kinews ran on for fucking months after months after months was healthcare, healthcare, healthcare. And they got elected October 3rd. Like, that's 3 months. It's like a quarter of the year almost. Or it is, yeah, a quarter of the year. When are we going to see a little bit of improvement? NDP shuts down Manitoba Surgical and Diagnostic Task Force that health minister says was inefficient. And it might have been, but neither here nor there. It was sending patients, Manitoba patients, out of province and sometimes out of country to get surgeries that they need. And I'm all for it. And I don't, like I said, I did a show way back then when Pallister was doing it, that I don't care if it costs us more money to do that. It's insane that we live in a country where these people, like, they need spinal surgeries or this or that, and they're sitting in pain for 8 fucking months. And we live in a first world country, apparently, with free healthcare, apparently. So, and when, think about it. If there's somewhere, a place that can perform the surgery that you desperately need, why wouldn't you go? Isn't it about patient care? Not about numbers like the NDP claim all the time. It's about patient care. What is better? Paying more money, having more taxpayers go into the pool of sending Manitobans out of province until we come up with a solution, or them sitting on a waiting list. But that, I'm old enough to remember that is what the NDP is all about. These are the people that invented hallway medicine. So they're gonna talk. They're gonna brag about how many beds they got and how many new additional beds and how many hospitals they build, and you're gonna be sitting in a fucking bed in the hallway with no doctor in sight, with no nurse in sight. It's gonna be the same thing as back in the 90s and the early 2000s, or whenever it was. Hallway medicine. Buckle up. I recommend not getting sick in 2024. That's my best advice to you, Manitoba. So yeah, like I said, the province shuts down the diagnosis task force, and obviously, Manitobans, it could possibly leave Manitobans waiting months longer, it's just like obvious, because there's no plan. They shut the task force down with zero backup plan, so of course they're just sitting there waiting now. And like I said, Manitoba, the one thing that the Wab Kinews specifically has been harping on, that he claims that this is the mandate that Manitoba has given him, is to fix our healthcare. And January 5th, that's literally October, November, December, 3 months past the election date. I know he didn't get sworn until what, the 19th or something. Quote, they're exhausted. Manitoba nursing shortage continues through respiratory virus season. I remember when Wab Kinews was fucking going off over and over in front of every fucking camera he could back during COVID about us not having enough like, this is mind-blowing that I'm still 2 years later talking about the same fucking shit. And I know what you guys are laughing. I said 2 years because it's 10, 15, 20 years. Nothing's changed. This is why I want people to understand and listen and just like maybe do a little bit of research about the Keystone Party, because this is the prime example of a uniparty. The NDP, PC, NDP, PC, NDP, nothing gets done. Nothing changes. A few people here and there get rich. Generally, the fucking politicians we elect, but absolutely nothing changes. This song has been played. A Manitoba nursing shortage. Like, what? Is this like 3 fucking years ago when I'm saying this? Long wait times persist in Manitoba hospitals. Real concrete action needed. Again, this is Wab Kinews' baby. This is what he fucking thinks he became premier to fix. On New Year's Day, Joe Hatley's mother was taken to emergency room at Winnipeg Health Science Center with a nosebleed that wouldn't stop. 86-year-old lady. They originally told the mom that she would have to wait 30 hours to see a doctor. 30 fucking hours to see a doctor in Canada. Not a third world country. We're not at fucking war, although Trudeau fucking believes we are. In Canada. She ended up waiting 12 hours and her mom went home after 18. And she was like, fuck it. After 18 hours. Can you believe that? Sitting in the ER for 18 hours. 86 years old. This is the NDP. I mean, this is also the PCs. But every time you listen to an NDP MLA talk about it, like our health minister, Ugawara, like I don't know how the fuck to say her name, but she just blames the PCs, the PCs, the PCs. And when you talk about the PCs, they blame the previous NDP, the NDP, the NDP. No one takes responsibility for it. They're both in charge at certain times, but nothing fucking changes. These dipshits we elected just do not have the capacity to fix it. This is a Manitoba, man. Look into Keystone Party Manitoba. We have to make a change. We have to start somewhere. Dr. Joss Reimer, Chief Medical Officer, who, by the way, has lately been on TikTok, saying that she's debating, she's wondering how much it's just good old-fashioned racism for the people who are worried and concerned about the safety downtown. That's what she went on Twitter. She's worried about it being racism if you're concerned about your safety downtown. It's like, know your lane, lady. Like, fuck. It wouldn't be so bad if like our healthcare was kicking ass and we were like, you know, top tier health class. But like when you're losing like 40-0, I don't think you'd be chirping to the other team too much. Like, shut the fuck up. Do your job. How about that? Do your job. But this Manitoba, like I knew it was going to get bad for the next 4 years. That is what happens when you elect NDP. They're fucking socialists. They don't give a shit about you as an individual person. Okay? They're going to just look at you as a group, as a whole. I'm going to refresh this. Let's see what the NDP government is giving us right now. This is I don't know. Let me just pull up that website out. It's right myrightcare.ca if you want to find out the wait times. Okay, so if you need urgent care, Concordia Hospital, 6.25 hours. Seven Oaks, 4.5 hours. Victoria Hospital, 7.25 hours. And keep in mind, that's just what it says. And it's never faster. It's always longer. And if emergencies come in, these times get pushed up. We've all been there, waiting line, and you see someone come in and they're way worse, and you're like, fuck. Emergency. If you need emergency care in Winnipeg and you need to go to an ER, you'll be waiting 10.75 hours at Grace, 10 hours at Health Science Center, 4.25 hours for the Children's Health. All right. Okay. So yeah, sorry about that. My thing unplugged there, my microphone. Anyways, yeah. Children's Health Science Center, the Children's Health Science Center. If you have a sick baby and they need emergency care, 4.25 hours wait time. St. Boniface, 11.5 hours. Manitoba, this is fucking insane. This is what the NDP campaigned on. This is what the NDP is good for. Manitoba, I mean, what else you want to, like, what do you want to give them the benefit of the doubt? Like, we can't talk about crime because that's a fucking disaster in Manitoba. This is supposed to be their win. And I know some so like NDP supporters, I like to call them socialists, are gonna say give them time, but it's been 3 fucking months, and can you do something instead of just shutting shit down and talking about Orange Shirt Day and Louis Riel Day? Do something with our fucking healthcare. The only fucking reason you got elected is because you lied to the majority of Manitobans who are dumb enough to believe you into thinking that you're gonna build 3 hospitals and you're gonna fill them full of specialists and get all this equipment and solve our healthcare, when everyone else was like, why are you saying this dumb fucking shit? You're gonna build 3 hospitals, and who's the fuck is gonna work there? We can't even fill our current hospitals up, and you want to build more. But Manitoba, we're stuck with them for 4 more years. So buckle up, dude. Do not get sick in 2024. That's my best advice, Manitoba. That's my New Year's resolution. Don't go to the hospital. Either way, Manitoba, love you guys so much. I'm probably going to be doing the show live coming up. Not 100% sure. A lot of it depends on my work schedule because I'm out of town a lot. But if not, I'm going to be doing the show again regularly. Back at it. I just can't sit back and listen to these guppies say the most ridiculous shit without being called out on it. But either way, Manitoba, love you guys. Stay tuned. Follow me on TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Manitoba Freethinker, MB Freethinker. It's one of those 2. Anyways, peace. Love you guys. Bye.